Hi guys, Office Bloke Dave here.
Oh, hello. I have a frutella in my mouth.
That's what she said.
Have some ASMR. Ew, I hate that noise.
I am Office Bloke Dave. Hopefully people know that by now. This is I am Ash next to me.
Chewing on a sweet.
Yeah, chewing on a sweet or a candy. I've roped Ash into helping out on my channel because people seem to like watching it more when you're on it.
Single person reactions are kind of boring.
It's hard. It is hard on your
I think
own.
people like you. It's just, I couldn't imagine just being sat watching something and having to react. It's fun with you.
It's really fun. I really enjoy doing this, so I'm glad you're into it because I'm buzzing off it.
I'm getting loads of like new music for my playlist. I'm loving it.
Good. Well, this is a song
Plus,
that
I would never ever have heard of the Sexy Ginger or well, I found you.
Oliver Anthony.
No. Patty.
Tatiana from Ginger. I get you.
And Electric Cowboy.
Well, I reacted to this song a couple of weeks ago, and I've talked to you about it a couple of times since I reacted to it because it's classed as quite controversial, but I really enjoyed it. But I remember telling you about it after I reacted to it, so I kind of explained that. I mean, the title says it all. Try that in a small town.
Yeah.
But also, look just to your side there.
I know, because I asked, and you said that was why you kept the whole thing. Oh my goodness.
Jason Aldean collection.
You're going to do things to me, stop.
That's a Jason Aldean hat. I just can't put headphones on it, so I can't. Right. Does that work?
Now you need the vest out.
Yeah, I'm not doing that again. Anyway.
It looks like a sombrero.
Yeah, so that got sent to me from all the way from Texas, actually.
Outstanding.
Anyway, you can take it off whenever you feel like it.
Kind of comfy.
Jason Aldean, try that in a small town.
Okay. It does look like a sombrero. I've got such a tiny head. Why have I got such a tiny head?
Now you look like someone off. Did you ever watch Westworld?
No, but it makes me want to.
Is it Westworld where it was
is it like a ain't from around here? Please don't hate me, internet. I'm sorry. I can't help myself. I've seen too many spaghetti westerns and the comedy ones.
Should we do it?
God, look at that.
Every time we do a reaction, it takes at least 4 minutes to get into it.
Because I'm like ADHD central. I'm just like...
Right, let's do it. Jason Aldean, try that in a small town. Should we do it?
Sure thing, cowboy.
No, I'm getting turned on. What does that mean?
I'll take it off. Focus business now.
Is it Brokeback Mountain? Oh, and I said Brokeback Mountain, and I'm drinking Budweiser when we're reacting to a country song, so have at it in the comment section.
Hey, it's alright. I got super into Tatty, so if you want to get into this, it's up to you.
Sucker punch somebody on a sidewalk, carjacking old lady at a red light, pull a gun on the owner of a liquor store. You think it's cool, act a fool if you like. Cuss out a cop, spit in his face, stomp on the flag and light it up. Yeah, you think you're tough. Well, try that in a small town. See how far you make it down the road. Around here we take care of our own. You cross that line, it won't take long for you to find out. I recommend you don't. Try that in a small town.
I actually really appreciate the lyrics.
It's making me smile already.
Is it? Is it really?
Yeah. I'm all about that. I've got a hunting bow on the wall.
Oh, I know.
I've got axes all over the house. Like, Try that in a little village.
I know, yeah. No, I appreciate that because obviously I come from quite a small town back home as well, and it is that the community bands together. It's not in every circumstance. Like obviously when the Manchester riots and obviously the Manchester Arena bombing happened, the whole of the city. I mean, Manchester's massive. What is it like 3 million people in Manchester?
More than that, I think.
Is it more than that? It's crazy. And we did like when the Manchester riots happened. People were up at 5 a.m. sweeping the streets and clearing to make it, because it's their city, it's their home. But I do appreciate what he's saying. Like, don't mess with people who like know each other and you're a community and you're well bonded. Because there's a lot of these like small towns in America, isn't there, where people
are forgotten about.
Yeah, absolutely.
They look after their own because the government aren't looking after them. Like, it's the same here.
Yeah.
I like to be somewhere where I'm forgotten about to a degree, but as long as everyone bands together on the same page to look after each other, I like it.
Damn right. And you have every right to protect your own town and your community. So I like what he's saying is it's like, come and try that. Just try it. Come and mess with us and you'll be sorry.
I think this has come under some stick because it's quite conservative ideals. Whereas like if you go conservative or liberal nowadays, everyone's like, you're one of them, or like, there's so much division. Whereas like, this is kind of old-fashioned the way we used to live. Your whole street would know each other. Your doors are unlocked. Yeah. Everyone looks after each other.
Yeah. I didn't grow up like that, but yeah.
I
watched movies. I used to dream about things like that, like going trick-or-treating. Like, that was just like a dream of mine as a kid because you couldn't do it back home. Everyone had big, like, barbed wire fences.
It's not as big a thing in this country, trick-or-treating. I'm sure it isn't in Africa.
No, not at all. Not really at all.
But I did it from maybe the age of... I did it as a little kid with parents and then maybe the age of 8 without parents, just walking around the local neighbourhood trick-or-treating. And it's like, my son's nearly 8. There's no way he's walking around on his own nowadays. But we digress.
Satellite, it won't take long for you to find out. I recommend you don't. Try that in a small town. That my granddad gave me. They say one day they're gonna round up. Well, that shit might fly in the city. Good luck, try that in a small town. See how far you make it down the road. Around here we take care of our own. You cross that line, it won't take long for you to find out. I recommend you don't. Try that in a small town full of good old boys, raised up right. If you're looking for a fight, try that in a small town. Try that in a small town. Take care of our own. You cross that line, it won't take long for you to find out. I recommend you don't. Try that in a small town. Try that in a small town. Try that in a small town.
Tune.
Absolute tune. I really like it, and now I want to wear the hat again. I really, really appreciated that song. Like his voice is really lovely. The music was really good, and like I like the message. To me, I don't think he's too over the top on one thing. Oh my god, this is like massive.
So some of the criticism it's come under, as far as I can gather,
yes,
some people are trying to conflate that to race, and they're saying that. In this inner city violence he's talking about, he's alluding to being a minority problem, which all you have to do is have a bit of common sense and watch that video to go, that's not whatsoever about race.
Not at all.
That's more about beholding like traditional values, looking after your community, not
getting lost in the rat race,
not protecting people who are spitting in the faces of cops and stuff like that. And it's like, it does seem as an outsider from the States, and it is happening in this country as well massively.
Yeah.
We won't go too political, but it does seem like the lunatics are running the asylum a little bit, you know, where people are allowed to get away with so much. And you think, like, you go back a couple of decades or whatever, you spat in the face of a cop, what do you think's going to happen to you?
Jeez, you not only get spanked by the cop, you get spanked by everyone in the community. Jeez Louise, can you imagine? Because everybody would know who that copper was.
Yeah.
He'd be the local copper, and heaven forbid that you disrespect one of the members of the community. You never did that.
There's an anonymity.
Like, if you try to even complain about, like, one of the other doctors or anything, everybody knew that doctor.
Well, allegedly my grandma was killed by Harold Shipman, so talk about community doctors, things like that. But yeah, I forgot the point I was trying to make. You distracted me.
Sorry.
I think
is it the low down?
It's the low down voice.
How you doing, baby? That was really low.
That's what I was going to say. The anonymity that big cities affords you, and I'm not saying there isn't anonymity everywhere nowadays, because bad things happen in small towns and everywhere else.
Yeah.
But when you're in a big city with millions of people coming and going, the cops are less inclined to investigate small crimes and things like that. A lot more can be gotten away with, whereas like here, the police station's only down the road. The cops will turn up.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, over here, the cops don't even turn up to burglaries half the time, unless you phone up and say,
they've got a gun. Yeah.
Well, that's what I said. They've got a gun and I've got a gun, so you better hurry up.
Yeah, literally.
I will say, yeah. I mean, I've reacted to this. People can go ahead and watch that. This is more about what you think of this song.
I love it. But it speaks to me. Like, the music was really good. His voice was great. And I like the lyrics because it is about community. It's about how it's been lost in these big cities. And especially it's like coming from a place like, a girl growing up in a place like Zimbabwe and then coming over to England and seeing, I'd never seen so many people in one place in my life. It was overwhelming and terrifying, especially in London. People were really unfriendly as they, like I went to ask someone for the time and they acted like, grabbed their purse like I was going to rob them. It was like, okay.
People... In the UK, we say that people up north are friendlier.
Yeah, they are.
People down south aren't. And I've heard American people say the opposite, you know, where people are a bit more friendly and more cordial down south.
Nah.
But I don't know. I've never been to the south.
It's obviously it's personal feelings. But when we first moved over, I obviously ended up firstly in Manchester. My aunt was living here and she took me and my dad in. And I went searching for a place that felt closer to home, like culture-wise. And I've moved up and down the country in different areas, and the north is just friendlier. The people are more gritty and more honest and upfront, and they're true. That's just what I've gleaned. I don't know. I just don't fit in with the Southerners, even though I'm technically a Southerner.
No, you're not.
I'm from Southern Africa. Come on.
That's different. You're an African. People know how I feel about that tune. Yeah. I've watched it. I think I may have had a few beers. I mean, I've had a few beers now, but I think I may have had a few beers when I reacted to it on my own. And if wanting to stand up for your community and people respecting law and people respecting each other and not robbing liquor stores, if it's wrong to think that all of that stuff is wrong, then I don't want to be right. You know, it's like, show a bit of respect for your community. It's like it goes. I'm going to start ranting again.
I'll get low.
It goes down to things as small as dropping litter on the floor. And when you see someone litter and you just look at them and go,
come on,
you
mate.
just don't give a shit.
No, I know.
Like, we all live here and you expect that's just going to blow away and be wherever.
I know.
There's little things like that when you see, I hate to say it, but it's always young lads that have been to the McDonald's drive-through.
Oh, don't.
In like a shitty Vauxhall Corsa, like
fat pumping out the fumes. I know.
It's not the fumes. It's the fact that they'll finish the food and just throw the bag out the window.
Oh, don't.
And to me, that gets me as angry as some of the footage of people trying to rob shops in that video. And I'm like, have a little bit of respect. What's wrong with you?
I feel the same. It's like I said to you, like I used to go around with those litter pickers when we used to go on hikes because it just irritated me. It's like, if you were able to bring a whole case of beers up that hike of a mountain, you can take the empty cans back with you. But you would see a trail of just cans and bottles. And it's just like, why? When it's such a nice, beautiful place, leave it nice for somebody else.
The best kind of litter picker has 2 barrels. We'll end on that. Cheers for that one, guys. We'll see you soon.